We are back, guys, with part 2 of this freak show that we are going on, and hopefully I'm going to try to do some more videos where I go through and be a little more educational than just stating my opinions when it comes to these kinds of things. I might do some breakdowns and things like that, but I want to put my disclaimer in here as well. So anything that I say here, whether it be negative, positive, or anything like that, it is my opinion that I have come up with myself through research, experiences, so on and so forth. So I just put that disclaimer in there. I am not paid to do any of this. This is just something I found out is a little bit of a side hobby passion that I like. I also want to state that there is a possibility that there will be more triggers in here, so I'm going to put a trigger warning here and let you guys know that she does talk about postpartum mental health, depression, and anxiety, and she also talks about fertility. And when we get into diets and stuff, there will be a trigger warning for anybody that gets triggered by that. I'm going to go in, whether it be this part or the next part, and discuss about how their food programs and their nutrition programs are not up to par. I'll leave links and stuff below on that. That will either be this video or the next one. Either way, I'm going to put the warning in here because I'm sure I will cover a little bit of it before I go into part 3. Thank you, guys, and let's get started. So we're going to go in here and start where we left off. We're only almost 7.5 minutes in out of 34. And I've had to stop multiple times and keep myself from swearing. So let's see where we go with this.
So as I was when I'm doing these calls, I kind of write down things as I go throughout the week. And my brother-in-law, we've been quarantined all together, and he is this crazy hardworking entrepreneur. And the other night, he just nonchalantly walked by and said something so true. And I said, "Can you repeat that?" And then I went over and grabbed a pencil and wrote it down. And he said, "If you are always imitating someone else, you're always going to be a step behind." And that's why I was like, whoa, hold on, let me grab that, because I need to share this with my team and with everybody. If you're always imitating someone else, you're always going to be a step behind.
Yes, you are. I agree with her brother-in-law there. Yes, if you're always imitating someone, you're going to be a step behind. So why not be authentic? Why not be authentic with whatever you do, whether you decide to join an MLM or not? Imitating someone, you're always going to be a step behind because you're following in their footsteps. You're just continually following. And their journey may not look the same as your own journey that you're having. And that's the part that is the most irritating when it comes to me hearing people say, be authentic, be yourself, and blah, 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 blah. And when I was in both MLMs that I was in, oh, be yourself, be authentic. I couldn't be myself and be authentic and get anybody. I had to literally copy other people and be one step behind them to even get anywhere close to getting any kind of pension. And if you have not seen my video where I break down what I earned versus what I lost, apparently I wasn't copying the right person. So just head back to my anti-MLM playlist, where I will pop it in the end here of this video. You can click that video link and listen to that. But let's continue on with this discussion and see how we go here.
If you ever felt this in your business, maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe it's that we're imitating instead of being our authentic selves on our journey, and you're feeling a step behind.
And it's not just that, it's the fact that everything is oversaturated.
You're literally trying to follow their steps. And of course, it's leaving you feeling left behind because they're blazing the trail and being themselves, and you're following behind them, mimicking. And, all of a sudden you're like, who am I even? And so it's okay, you guys. It's okay to not know and to go anyway. It's okay to spread your wings, get those wings on the way down, and go ahead and jump. It's okay to not have all the answers when you begin sharing. That is authentic. That is you living, and that's you learning along the way. So I'm going to touch on some ways that I share my journey openly and authentically. And some of this, actually most of this is probably going to sound like, oh, I might know, I've heard that. But it's important that you really have a heart-to-heart with yourself during this or after this, and just see if you're truly doing these things day to day.
Okay, so she has a list that's coming up. I'm only hitting up a few of these to complain about or to discuss with you guys about. So when we go into this, I will let her speak and then try to go into what I'm going to say. Hopefully I stop in the right spots. If not, then you'll hear just a little bit more until we get to the next one. But several of her points I'm going to go over and talk to you guys about what it's actually like to do this every day. Let's just listen.
And if there's any ways that you can tweak things. So, number one, easiest of them all, and it's a vital behavior, and that is becoming a product of the product. It's a vital behavior, so stop passing this one off. My product of the product it doesn't mean I show up every once in a while and then I share some supplements. Well, I shared my workout, 5 days ago. I shared that I did a shake last week. That's not what I mean. I don't mean hop on, share your workout every few days. I don't mean bounce around from program to program. I mean commit. I mean the way that you expect your challengers to commit. If your followers cannot see a commitment from you to your own company, then you cannot expect them to do differently. And you can't get upset with them when they don't. Number two, the easiest way to do number one is to start and finish a program. But in that...
Okay, so let me stop there. I'm going to talk about what she just said about being a product of a product. So I do generally get the idea and understand the idea that she has behind this. And I need to plug in my laptop here. But I just wanted to discuss the fact that, yes, you should be the product of a product. If you're going to sell this product, you need to be a product of it. And you need to be using it like you're supposed to be, whether it be every day, every other, whatever. It's so excruciating to have to post it constantly and go through every little thing that you do. Say you signed up for a program that lasted 30 minutes. You're doing this workout program for the 30 minutes, and then you have to stop in between to take videos to post these videos to on your Instagram story or your Facebook story or wherever the heck you're going to put it. You have to pause and take little blips of each move that you're doing or some moves that you're doing, and that's doesn't that defeat the purpose? Aren't you supposed to be doing the program all the way through? That kind of thing. Obviously, it's to show that you're actually doing the program, but even taking several blips of the workout program that you're doing, you could just be doing a couple moves and not even be doing the program, that kind of thing. And then that's the whole loophole thing that a lot of people are super, what's what I'm looking for, they question it, they're concerned, and they worry. I don't think they worry, but they see you doing these things every day. And I'm the type of person that, yes, I wondered too if these people were actually doing the whole program or if they were just doing some workout moves and then posting it. I did not, when I did this, I was actually doing the whole program, and I'd take blips of different exercises that I thought were pretty neato and made my muscles show up pretty well. That's the thing that I did, so that it made me look it made me look better. I wanted people to see that my muscles were actually toned. I wanted them to see that I was actually doing this. But being a product of the product, you get to a point where you get tired of sharing like everyday lifestyle stuff, or getting up at 6 in the morning and doing your workout, or coming home from work and doing your workout and you're already tired and starving and everything else. So being a product of the product is a great concept in general. If you're going to be selling a product, you need to be the person using it, right? But you also need to realize that it's not just the product that is doing this for you. It's other choices that you're making, like what you're eating. Some people do more than one program. Some people do this program and then other stuff with real life personal trainers and so on and so forth. And they don't show that. They just show what they're doing with Beachbody so they can sell the Beachbody, but they're doing other things too. And I got to a point where I was doing other things too. I would do the workout and I would run. I'd go and run. Run and walk. I would do like so many laps of running, and then I'd walk, so many laps of running, and then I'd walk, that kind of thing. But a lot of people do that, and a lot of people don't mention that in their stories when they're doing things like that. Or actually use all the Shakeology that they've bought, or use the other products that they've bought.
Breath, I'm going to share with you, you have to do it in a way that's always staying authentic to your journey. Share how you feel during the program. And I don't mean pumping it up and saying that you love it if you don't. You can share your struggles. You can share that it's hard. You can share that it's not what you expected. But tell them how you feel about the program as you go through it, because they're following you. I mean, a lot of times we are the catalyst for these launches and these programs, and we are able to talk people through something that they're not able to experience yet.
And she's saying to be truthful about how you're feeling through a program. Well, let me tell you, the only program that I truly liked with Beachbody was Lift 4, because I love lifting weights. And the rest of them, I felt like I was dying. It was all high. They were basically all HIIT, high intensity interval training. If nobody knows what that means, there's your clarification. They were all HIIT. You can't do HIIT all the time and expect to have any sort of results. You will plateau if you don't switch up your workout regime. Like if I was running every single day and not doing any weightlifting or changing up my running, like my running path, instead of like in my backyard running around, that kind of thing. Like if you don't change that kind of stuff up, you plateau, because your body has got so used to doing those things that you're not going to be losing weight, you're not going to be gaining any muscle, you're just sitting or standing, whichever one you prefer to say, at this plateau, and you're leveled off and you're not going anywhere, obviously, because you need to change things up with your body. The only program that I liked that was not high intensity interval training, and it was high intensity though, I mean it was pretty intense doing this weightlifting stuff with Joel, was Lift 4, and it was to build muscle. But I still do have some problems with some of these anyways. The thing is, if I was completely truthful about the programs that I did when I did Beachbody and I did these programs all the way through, I would have told you guys that it sucked. It truly and utterly sucked. I was poured in sweat. My heart rate was so high that it shouldn't have been as high as it was, but it was high. I didn't feel like I'd really done anything except make myself tired. I felt like I hadn't worked any of my muscles in my body. And then when I go to eat, I follow the nutrition program too, which we'll get into that at a later date. But the thing was, I didn't feel like I was changing it up enough to really see any good results. There was not enough change within these programs for me, in my personal experience, for it to be worth it. And that's just me. That's my opinion. But if I honestly and truthfully shared how I felt about these programs when I went through them, I probably would have been making these videos a lot sooner. Just saying.
Following us for that. And there has been a couple of times, probably twice, that I've actually stopped doing a program and I did not finish it. Could I have finished it? Could I have continued on and hated it? Sure. But then I couldn't say anything positive, right? Because I was, I was surely not going to lie to my followers. So I stopped and I shared that what the program was doing, and I shared that it was great for the majority of my followers. I shared how many of my customers were loving it. We'll go ahead and say which one this was for me. This was Bar.
Whoa. Okay, like I totally missed this when I was going through the video earlier. So let me deeply delve into this, because here we go. So she wouldn't finish a lot of the programs. So by the training, if you're to be a product of the product and you're trying to sell bar that she just said, like bar blend, which when I all I did was see a preview of it and I knew it sucked. Okay? I digress. But what I'm trying to say is the fact she didn't say anywhere there, unless it's like farther into the video here, where she told the truth to her followers and said, hey, I stopped this because it wasn't working for me. She shared who it was working for, who it might work for, etc. I'm like, are you kidding? You all probably saw my reaction. Like, whoa. I don't remember if she says that she actually talked about it, but let's see.
And I had a whole team, a ton of my team who loved it and getting these amazing transformations. But for me, I was in a different place. I was at a different pace. I was postpartum, and I shared that I gave it a solid amount of time. I gave it 3 weeks, and I just decided that I was ready to change it up and to go start to finish with a program.
Okay, so she did share, but it doesn't sound like she shared why she stopped. She just shared that she did 3 weeks of it and then decided she wanted to do another program from start to finish.
And that's what I needed right now in my postpartum journey. I just wanted something that was a little higher intensity, higher impact. So I started and I finished Insanity Max 30. And honestly, that month was one of my highest months with Success Club, because others saw that I wasn't just trying to sell them. I was not just going to sell them this program just because. Instead, I was being authentic and sharing my struggles in hopes that others could feel okay about how they were feeling with that program or another program.
And they probably actually was seeing that the more high intensity program that you were talking about, more people would want to sign up for that, because a lot of people have the misconception that HIIT is the best thing to do for weight loss, and that as long as you're doing something fast and you are speed guys, speed, like going through and doing things that's really intense is burning more fat and doing more for you, when in some cases it is not. So that, I think, is more the reason that they were like, hey, she's doing this really intense workout, this mama is totally getting done, we should jump on this too. And when she was sharing it all the time, I'm sure she was really talking it up and things like that, which, I mean, you would if you're trying to sell something.
And I had several people reach out and say, thank you. Like, thank you for not just selling it because, and trust me, I did a ton of selling with Bar, and so many people loved it, like I said. But for me, that's not the place I was in. And so I needed to share with them where I was going and move on to something that was good for me in that moment. Number 3, being open in your plans with your followers, your customers, whoever. My meal plans and my supplements are constantly changing because my goals are ever changing.
Okay, we're going to stop there. I'm going to go into the next video with this one. So, I do agree if you run a business that has products, that you need to be a product of the product that you're selling. You should never sell something that you've never tried, obviously. I mean, that is a given. And I also believe that you should be open about what you're doing, especially if you're doing a health and wellness kind of business, whether it be, you trying to personal train or you doing something like this, even though I'm totally against it. I'm just saying, if you do this, you need to be straight up with what you're doing. And honestly, it's super annoying sometimes when you're going through people's Instagram stories or Facebook stories and all you see is shakes, pre-workout, and then somebody doing a couple moves from a workout plan that they're doing. And then you talk about how amazing it is and this and that and on and on. So people would share their struggles and things like that and complain. But the thing is, a lot of people, this is their only content. And that's something that stands out and super fishy to me. And I know they're trying to sell and make a sale, make a living. I get it. I totally get it, guys. But the thing is, when you have to be taught to be predatory and you're not a predatory person, especially during a pandemic like we're in, that should be a red flag to you. It should be a red flag to you when you get that "hey girl" message. That should be a red flag. When you follow somebody and you get in on their story and they're drinking go-go juice or unicorn juice or whatever everybody is like calling it so people just call it pre-workout, which totally pre-workout. Cool. Don't call it go-go juice. Don't call it unicorn juice or unicorn cocktail or mommy juice or whatever. That just sounds really corny and cheesy and super salesy, okay? It really does. It's overused. It's over well done. Like, throw that steak outside, because as soon as somebody bites into it, they're going to break their teeth. Overdone, okay? So we're going to go into part 3. Like, comment, subscribe, share. If you've made it to here, comment why you're anti-MLM, or let me know if you are in an MLM and you are starting to see some things pop out. Anyways, get ready for the next video. It's going to be very nutritious.